Well, today I'm gonna be a tourist in my own country that I live in, starting with this right here.
Now you might be wondering how exactly I could consider myself as a tourist in a country that I reside in. So let me back up to the beginning.
So I've been living in Japan for 7 years and I would consider myself a local now. But I've never really had the opportunity to live like a tourist until today, because High Five Outside with Kazu has asked foreigners, such as myself, to participate in this event where we get to be tour guided essentially to locations in Amakusa. Essentially what they're trying to do is get a tour out there for foreigners to come visit Amakusa and showcase all the good food, the good locations, as well as the fun things you can do. And now I get to be full-on tourist mode.
Oh, and by the end of the video, I have to rate the tour on whether I think it's a good experience for a tourist. So if you have any thoughts, you can leave them in the comments down below as well. Now that you know the why and the how, let's see the what. The tour started out with a full-on bullet train experience down to Kumamoto, with all-inclusive visuals of passing by fields and buildings at blurringly fast speeds, something that every tourist must try out in Japan. And then we contrasted that experience with probably the slowest train you could find, going from Kumamoto to Misumi.
Up is a local train with windows that open.
But with slower speeds, you could feel like you were in an anime slowly gliding by the fields and houses. Adding to the experience was the fact that the train stations here don't really check your tickets. Talk about trust. You gotta love Japan.
We arrived Misumi Station.
Entrance of Amakusa City, and then we drive down all the way here.
And then we moved to our local bus ride. A long 3-hour ride. That one is probably the most grueling for me. Through oceans, mountains, fields, and, well, streets, we patiently waited for our arrival for our first meal of the day. And this here is a fisherman's lunch, as they like to call it. It's a simple meal in which you have fish atop of rice and toppings of dried fish. The key to this experience is to pour the warm tea atop the fish and rice to create a slightly porridgey meal. Warm and filling, especially after a long day at sea or on the road. So this here is Toru. He essentially has our day planned to the T, and he's the leader amongst everyone here.
So the cool thing about this is they have planned our whole day, which I never get to have my day planned out. Usually I have to do the planning. So let's see how it is being a tourist for the first time.
Now the first stop after the meal and a bit of shopping was drone flying.
They brought us into a gym because we're gonna fly drones inside today. Never flew a drone before yet. So they're setting up the drones right now for us.
Normally we would get to fly these outdoors, but due to the rainy weather, we were left to fly drones in this local school, which might not have been the best idea looking back, but we still tried it. Now I must say, if you have never flown a drone before, this is a really great opportunity to fly something rather expensive without the worrisome feeling of something potentially bad happening, as they have insurance on their drones. So when something like this happens, it's okay. I'm pretty sure. I think I got the hang of this drone flying thing though.
How is it? Oh, it's wonderful. I'm almost going through hoops sometimes. I just look at it. I never look at the camera, which is what you're supposed to use a drone for. So I feel like I'm not using it for its purpose. I'm just flying.
Immediately after we decimated all of the drones, we were gifted with some fresh uni, which is sea urchin, from the ocean. I mean, look at the way it moves. It's actually alive. Now here, they taught us a bit about where it came from and how special it is. It's literally one of my grandma's favorite meals, but it's always a bit salty to me.
You know, I got stung by a sea urchin once, so this feels like payback.
Tastes like nothing.
No, it's like weird.
Weird? Weird's a good explanation. I still stand true to my open your mouth underwater.
I mean, that was good. That was good.
Regardless, if given the choice, they really enjoyed
Drone. It was nerve-wracking crashing them, but actually really fun when you got through the hoop. It was quite emotional moments for me, like seeing the thing is still alive and I'm eating it.
Now they decided to let us drop off our bags at our accommodation, which I was excited for since I didn't have to plan or book a hotel. Such an ease on the mind, honestly. And I really do love being a tourist on a tour trip apparently. Now, it's time for our house tour.
We get futons, mini TV, hanging right here for some reason. The view, got some houses over there. Oh, I guess the best part. Floor is tatami.
Now that the tour is complete and we move forward to the onsen, in which they had some goodies outside.
I made it raw. Wait, I can make it go.
Why does it make it sound like it's shooting something? I don't know why it is, but I feel like this would be delicious. It looks delicious. Nori potato chips. Probably one of the best things you can get if you're gonna come to Japan, to be honest. Try that out. And Kumamoto baked chocolate. They got Kumamoto everywhere. This might be the coolest thing they have though. Or Kumamon hat. My brother would wear this, I'm pretty sure. Onsen complete. 600 yen onsen. Didn't pay a thing. Everything's included.
Apparently, the city of Amakusa has an illumination that a local high school created under the highway, and if you check it out, it is absolutely amazing. By far, my favorite thing to see so far. I honestly wish I had more time here, but quickly they took us away to
Romantic fantasy. Let's check this romantic fantasy out. Look at all the colors. It's really beautiful. I mean, it's simple. They just put lights on it, but it still looks amazing. And the crazy thing, there's a waterfall down there that we can't get to. Music playing all over for this little image, which is fun too.
romantic fantasy over and reality sets in to probably the most filling meal of my lifetime.
I think they gave us too much food. I don't think anyone's gonna finish.
This dinner was a set meal in which the food never stopped arriving. And even a birthday cake arrived at one point.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。ありがとうございます。
Really love the camaraderie this group had. Back to the hotel and a nice group gathering later, and we're going to sleep. The next morning, breakfast was this huge spread, and then we were off to fly an underwater drone, which essentially is a submarine with a camera. But before we can do that, we had to find the perfect spot. And as beautiful as this location was, it was too windy.
Dangerous game. A game you never win with the ocean. It's like don't climb over, but what's this?
And spot 2? Well, it's still not ideal. The reason? I'm actually not sure, but we found this third spot, and apparently this location was the perfect spot to let this underwater drone go.
Looks like a time machine.
Can you guess how much this is?
$2,000.
60万. So about $6,000.
And apparently it's slightly pricey. So to make sure we keep this $6,000 product intact, we tied this rope off to it so we could keep track of it under the water, and we set it in and then let it go and bubble its way down to the bottom of the ocean. Now it might be tough to see with the reflection, but the fish expert here was showing us and explaining the items we were seeing all deep underwater, which was an experience I've never done before. I don't know if many people have this opportunity, so I think that's a point for this expedition. As the drone experience ended and we went over to get a quick bite to eat at this lunch spot of champon noodles, in which we asked ourselves,
Did you find out that the difference between Nagasaki champon and Shibuya champon?
No.
Me neither.
but regardless, it was delicious. We got to experience a local performance, which had a very island Okinawa vibe to it. Granted, we were at nowhere near that location, but the vibes were there. I think it's because we are oceanside town over here, so it's really cool to see and learn about the culture of the city that we were in. Such a great experience.
It must be cold.
To add to that, the final activity before we went back home was up this beautiful mountainside, in which we went on a short group hike, took photos, took in the scenery, and watched the ocean stretch for miles and miles. This by far was one of the highlights of our trip. I love nature and all the different landscapes that Japan has to showcase. We said a few goodbyes and then set off back home. We said more goodbyes, grabbed some small station coffee, said even more goodbyes, discussed some books, chatted amongst ourselves, and then said our final goodbye. It was really awesome meeting new people on this tour, and the organizers were absolutely amazing and nice. Really love what they've done here. Overall, I would say if you're a tourist who has never seen a small city in Japan, definitely join this tour. You get to experience a different side of Japan and make new friends while seeing how closely knit a local community truly is. I mean, everyone knew everyone on this trip. It's how they connected us to the hotel, the dinner, the drones, the fish expert. It really enjoyed. My one con would be that I wish we had more time in some locations, but overall, I love the stress-free feeling of experiencing new things and locations that you normally could not see. So, 7.5 out of 10. I would recommend to a tourist coming to Japan who wants to see something outside of Tokyo and get to a local countryside, oceanside town. Thanks for watching. It's time for me to become a local. Subscribe to the channel for more local Japan videos.